What's this portal there?
From the beginning.
Were you?
We used to get into that. Under the pictures here in the middle of the week. Come out again, out to Westbrook. And we got a kick up at night.
Yes.
After that. And then we're doing it in the summer time, we're doing Swans Park. And that's how that thing got go.
Started, yeah.
Go. Then we we done the show league.
Right.
I can't remember, I played the first match, played nearly all the matches on the show league. And I played the first match in D&D.
Yeah.
On a Sunday evening down there in the old pitch.
Yes.
And Donald's home. And I think, as far as I can remember, like in Celtic swap.
Right.
And that fella, one of the boys was a fantastic wee player, was Eddie Grant. Things you get you look back, and Mickey was a fantastic footballer too. And we had a great spirit, great team, and everything at that time, even that time, Mickey and Charlie Long were involved with committees and everything else.
I know.
With the school down there was their changing rooms. Hugh Don gave the pitch down there. Wasn't Hugh, and I was going very well.
Yes.
I remember about that. We had our dinner and dancers all down in Ballylaughlin.
Yeah.
Hugh and the mum would be there, and there was a good night's crack.
Yeah.
Charlie been dead and the whole lot. What a good team spirit. I remember, one of the greatest results we got was that. I think it was 72 or 73. Derry were two out of the league. And they come on team into D&D, Abbeyville.
Yeah.
They're a good side.
Yeah.
Three or four of the Derry City men were playing for them.
Yeah.
And we went up the showground and beat them 2-1. Nicky scored the first. Liam Rudden got the second.
Yes.
And they come down here and we drew them one each. No, things you get you never forget. And there's Mickey Doherty, Gill, one of the best friends I had.
Oh.
They would run about together at night and we went to dances and everywhere else. Well, the things were very simple.
Yeah.
But that's, look at the day.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Yeah.
Brilliant.
When you know, where you could get that much anywhere else.
No. And such a small community.
Oh, such a small, exactly.
You know,
the thing was that. It was fantastic way. The old pitch now, Packy Warner opened it.
Yes.
87, I think, 87. Yeah. And I remember that morning that the floods were. When we come down that morning, the first man I met, he was standing in the middle of the old pitch, down there.
Yeah.
And Mickey, standing in the middle of that. It was unbelievable. You look at it. You say to yourself, how's it ever going to be? Fixed up again.
Yeah.
But Mickey got going, man, they got the things sorted out. Great leading man. Great leading man, you know. And he's always there for the club.
Yeah.
Anything has been done, and you can manage to heave do it.
Yeah.
Something like that. And Charlie owns the same. You look at them men there and you say to yourself, that's what's happened here today.
That's the proof.
That was the proof of the whole lot there.
Yeah.
And I can't forget about Charlie McDade, do they? No. Charlie McDade, we looked after the youth club, the youth and all that day, you know. And Charlie's on grade on the 13 sides. No, and things like that.
Another quiet man.
Them, very good footballer too. The man's not here, there's Liam Cutler. Liam, he's up, I think, in the hospital.
Yeah. But we'll wish Liam all the best. Liam's recovering from sickness in hospital there now at the moment, so hopefully he'll get out.
That's good. Wish him all the best. And sorry he's not here today.
Yeah. Okay, Dennis.
Okay, you.
Lovely to see you. And thanks very
nice
much
to see you, no bother.
Great occasion for you today.
Absolutely delighted, really proud. It's lovely to look across the stand and see his name on it. The only thing would make it better if he's here himself, but unfortunately he's not.
Yeah. It's lovely to see his family there, and they're very proud and very emotional.
And rightly so, like him along with his mates started this club.
Yeah.
And the legacy they've left behind, is unbelievable, and it's built and growing.
Yeah.
And all we have to try and do is keep it moving.
Hand it on to the young people.
Get it ready for the next generation to take over and keep it in good hands. I'm here since about 25 years now.
Right.
I'm a secretary, treasurer, played a little bit badly, but managed a few of the girls' teams. So I've had a few titles and roles within the club. I'm here about 25 years now at this stage.
Everybody could look up to Cockhill.
We do strive to do things right. We mightn't always get it right, but we do try to.
Yeah.
We do try to keep a good structure here, facilitate everybody. We're delighted that in recent times the numbers in the underage has grown phenomenally, as well as the girls are really starting to develop. If they keep going, we might see a ladies team back.
Lovely.
In the near future.
How did you manage through COVID?
It was a struggle, very hard to keep motivated. you missed the football. It's great to see so many people out here today.
Yes.
You know, and enjoying it, and the weather has stayed on side, thank God. I think people are delighted to be out and about and just enjoying the occasion, and all people here could probably tell you a story about Mickey, and we'd have many to tell ourselves, like, so. Yeah.
Okay.
Mickey, and the name that stand after Mickey, just know Mickey was a member of this club for over 50 years, a loyal member. When they started out back over 50 years ago, there were about a dozen fellows, some of them teenagers, and they decided to enter the team, actually in fact into the D&D for the first few years, and that was called the Westbrook Celtic. And then a few years later they moved to Cockhill, started down, or Cure Downs field down there, and decided to change the name to Cockhill Celtic, and it's been Cockhill Celtic since. And Mickey was there at that time, and Mickey was there right to the very end. Some of the rest of us come and went, got fed up, had to hell with this and taking a break. Never once, and I've been in the committee for 35 years with the man, did I hear him saying, I had enough of this. It didn't matter, things were going well, things were going great, things were going bad. He was there all the time. Never once, no, not for one day did he ever leave it. So that's the loyalty that man had to this club, which I think is unbelievable. And to see this crowd standing around here today is a testament to Mickey. And what would have happened in Cockhill, look back 50 years ago, there was nothing in Cockhill, the old school, the chapel, and calling the shop. That's always in Cockhill at that time, if you look back at old photographs. Now look what's achieved, and them men never looked for gratitude, never looked for thanks, just what they could do to improve and to push the club on to better and better things. Now, I say, they started out with 12 members, and at the present time I think there's somewhere around 400 members. And that's down to a dozen boys deciding to enter the team into a league. So that's why we're all here today, to thank that man and to thank his colleagues. That's an unbelievable legacy to leave behind to give to us. So it's up to us now, boys, especially the younger people. I'm getting no younger now, but especially young people, to keep this club moving forward and growing the way they started. They never visioned this, but they always kept pushing and pushing to improve. Better facilities, better everything. You have 2 new pitches now, you have 2 7-a-side all-weather pitches, you have changing rooms, you have this stand. So as I say, it gives me great pleasure. I've been a friend of Mickey's for over 35 years and sat in the committees with him for over 35 years. It's actually a very sad day for me today, if I miss him big time. I'm still waiting for him to come on that gate down there. I say, Mickey was a loyal member of this club, and I'll just give you an idea. When Mickey wasn't well and the first team was playing, Mickey was not phoned to me, maybe he was in hospital, to see how the team was doing. And he didn't ask me the score, who was playing, who scored, who's refereeing, as Cullen's behaving himself, as keeping his mouth shut. So if he get bloody well sent off, he doesn't shut up. And that was right up to the very end, boys. So that's the reason we're here today, for people like that. So I said I'll stand up here for 2 minutes to talk. I'm going on too long. So I just want to thank everybody for coming here and thank Mickey for what he done for this club. And I'll never forget him. And I hope the young people never do. That's the reason his name's up in the front of that sign, that he'll never be forgot. So thank you, and thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank Rena Dunner, Councillor Rena wants to say a few words here now. Okay, Rena. Say, boys, we're seeing the young number 8s and number 10s playing there a month ago, boys and girls. Now, do you see what's out in the front of you? You couldn't buy that, it's talent. The legends. Some of them, boys, make my head sore looking at them. Boys, great to see us all here. Great, brilliant. Love seeing you today. Catch up in old times, hopefully. Rena, you there?
Thanks very much, Tommy. Thank you. This is a very momentous occasion to have this stand very aptly named after one of its founding members, Mickey Gill Doherty. I got to know Mickey a long time ago when I joined Cockhill Celtic when my children started, and that was way back in the late 80s. So a number of the stalwarts at that time were Charlie O'Donnell, Joe the Cove, Charlie the Weaver, Tommy, yourself there, Patrick the General, Mickey and others. And they drove the club forward from there on. And the work, the untold work, the work off the pitch, on the pitch, behind the scenes was unbelievable. Mickey filled so many roles. He was manager, He was chair, he was player, he was supervisor, he was gopher, he was delegate on many occasions where he represented the club at different events. So Mickey, you have left a lasting legacy that we can cherish for many, many years to come. And it's very, very fitting to have your name in bold here today above this stand. So to his family and to everyone and to the players and right into the future, thank you for Mickey for the legacy that you have left us with. Go Mila my hugger.
Thank you, thank you. Now I would ask Maureen, Mickey's daughter, to say a few words on behalf of the family.
I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of all of us and Daddy's family. Firstly, a huge thank you to the Cockhill Club for naming the Mickey Gill stand. To honour Daddy in this way makes us all so proud. Cockhill was like a second family for Daddy. It's where he liked to spend his time and where we were all introduced to football and the club. Most people who knew Daddy would relate him to Cockhill, and it is a lovely, fitting legacy to Mickey Gill to have this stand named in his memory. Daddy wasn't the greatest timekeeper, and you'd be sure he'd be away doing last-minute jobs or checking the club before any wedding or event and not showing up until the last minutes. But if the event related to Cockhill, he was always ready and standing at the door. He loved everything about the club, from the youngest kids through to the senior team and all the people involved. We'd like to thank you all for coming here today, especially of the day that's in it. And we feel so privileged, so proud of Daddy and what you've all done for him. Thank you.
Well done, Maureen. Thank you very much, Maureen. Round of applause, please. We now will have the Gill family down there on the pitch here. We want to have the cutting the tape to officially open the stand, the Mickey Gill stand. Okay, you there, Josephine? Give you a pair of scissors, Josephine. Now we'll have the official cutting of the tape to open the stand. Officially, okay, the Mickey Gill stand. Gather around there, everybody. Gather around. Well done, well done. Thank you, Josephine. From this day on, it'll be known as the Mickey Gill stand, okay? Thank you, boys. We're going to see a bit of quality now in the field. There's actually Sean Dunny out there as well, so I didn't know he was a legend, but there you go. Right, this was on an explanation of football here now. I thank everybody for coming here today, and if you notice around the place, the buckets here for the dogs, for the blind, so anybody wants to make a donation, quite welcome. Thank you. Okay, that's all I'm going to say to you today, so good luck and all the best. Bye bye.
Did you get involved with the club here?
At the very beginning, yeah. When we started down O'Donnell's Field, I had to go and see Hughie about getting a punch. None of the rest of them would fish Hughie. So I give us a punch, no bother. Only for Hughie would have nothing as right. So Hughie must be appreciated as well, you know. Year in, year out, Mickey was here. He never said a lot, but he done a lot. This pitch here is important to get this here, you know.
Are you playing the second half of you?
I am coming out. Right.
There's Spring. Sober's the judge today, Spring. Yes, Spring, you made the tell lies, Spring, with the drink. Foul throw.
Sad and happy right, Hugh, but we're very proud of Cockhill Celtic Club and always have been. And you know, as the Wayne used to say to me days, where's Daddy? And I'd say, no need to ask, he's out in Cockhill. And I'm very proud of the club and also the Cockhill community. You know, he's always very proud of them all. And as a family now, we're just delighted. And it's just, my grandson's out playing and my son's out playing there. And you know, it's a tribute to Mickey, and it's a great accolade really that they've named the stand, the Mickey Gill stand, and our family and his brothers and sisters are all very proud of it all.
Kendra, how you doing?
Hi, okay. I'd be enjoying all this. He'd be thinking it's good crack, and all these boys that haven't played football in a long time, he'd be getting a good laugh at them. He didn't say much, and then he'd come out with funny things then that you weren't expecting. It was good crack.
Oh, this is a great day, Hugh. A very, very momentous day, very, very special day. Mickey did, as you have rightly said and alluded to, Mickey was one of the stalwarts here at Cockhill, along with the great Charlie O'Donnell, God rest him, Charlie the Waver, Joe in the Cove, Patrick the General, Tommy Shuffy. Those were the boys from the early days that really sowed the seed and left the stepping stones for what we have a great legacy here left by Mickey Gill. And as I said earlier, it's great to see Mickey's name and bold above the stand, and it will be remembered forevermore, amen. Great day altogether, great community out here, always was, Hugh, a great community. Everybody works very, very well together. And that's why they have the facilities that they have today. Hard work. Yeah, hard work.
I tried to kind of hold it together, but if it came across a bit emotional, I don't know. I was trying my hardest, Hugh, not to. We're so proud of Daddy. Like, I mean, I remember standing on the pitch down at the O'Donnell ground when I was a couple of years old. Like, the noise then. Sorry, I can't concentrate. And like outlining the pitch with Daddy and doing things like that. And now to see my two boys out playing on a pitch and the stand named after him, we couldn't be more prouder. We're just so happy, delighted.
A great tribute to our brother Michael, known locally as Mickey Gill, and we're delighted the way things in the stand. It's beautiful. It's a very emotional day. It's a great day for everybody, and they'll always remember him.
What's your memories of Mickey?
Oh, I played with him for 15 years. Played with on the same team as him for 15 years. Me and him managed the team for 4 or 5 years. It was good crack. Always good crack. No matter how bad things were, it was good crack. Well, they were only formed at the time. We were playing in the D&D back then. Charlie Waver was there somewhere. He was playing in the team that time too. And I think it was Danny Gallagher maybe. So we won the D&D thing that year. The D&D that year was in 4 sections, and we won our section and we got beat in the final. Derry wasn't playing in the Irish League back then, and there were a lot of senior players playing on the Derry teams, you know. So we had a good team. Yeah, great occasion it is. Mickey was good crack.
Never did. No good. That man there, Johnny's good at it.
Retired. He's badly injured.
Great altogether. Great achievement. Well deserved for the man who was involved for Mickey Gill. Worked for years and years tirelessly at it. Quite unassuming man with the work done. Know Mickey for a long time.
You do have a great community here too, Jack, haven't you?
Definitely. Everybody pulls well together.
That's a good match. It's going well so far. The Legends is 1-2-0. Absolutely brilliant. She spent most of his time out here. I don't know how you try and put up with him. Rose wouldn't put up with me. I was away that often, and maybe she was delighted to get rid of me.
Mickey was a good worker for Cockhill now. I've done a lot for Cockhill.
Yeah, your son's involved with the pitch too?
William's involved in Cockhill now.
Since he was young.
Since young age, like. I come to every match myself on a Sunday. I would attend every Sunday match. Yep.
But it's a lovely tribute to Mickey, isn't it? Like, you know?
Oh, it is, surely.
Absolutely brilliant.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
He deserves it big time.
Everybody talks about Mickey and the football and everything, but Mickey was a great boxer, wasn't he?
Actually, he fought all the Irish champions, Eddie Hayden and all them boys. Johnny Thompson and all them boys, himself, top man. Oh, Mickey was a lethal puncher.
Were you ever in the ring with him?
Aye, but he wouldn't even hit you.
Would he not?
Yeah, he would spar away with you and he would never hit you, so it was nearly a waste of time sparring with him because he didn't want to. Mickey's a gentleman. A good sportsman, great crack. We used to go to the matches in Dublin, Galway and all with Mickey. Good sense of humour.
Rose, how are you keeping?
I'm not so bad. How are you?
I'm right. Some you bake all that stuff this morning yourself?
Oh yes, up all night baking.
I don't think so. I say Gary made most of that.
Do you think so?
The coach Mickey and all the boxing, and just he's over there to run him down, to see the match.
And how's your father keeping?
Yeah, he's over in the stand over there. Is
he?
Aye, roaring and shouting yet.
Everybody knew John Fair.
Back to see old boys that kicked me in their time.
Remember Mickey Gill well, don't you?
I remember him very well. He drove the money bus usually for the boxing, I knew him really well. Mickey's a great left hook. He could drop you one punch. And you boys up in the north, Rogers and all from Cookstown and up that way, they said they didn't. The last man they wanted in a draw for the Ulster titles would have been Mickey Gill.
Occasion here today.
Great, this sand's swell. It's needed here. Good fellow, Mickey, no better.
Okay, John, nice talking to you.
Right, thank you.
Did you work along with Mickey yourself, Sean?
Well, he was here from day one. Whenever I landed down to play underage football, he was always there until a year and a half ago.
Good memories.
All the best. Even playing, managing, he's a bit of a rogue at his time too, like a dry sense of humour. He'd tell an odd joke, wouldn't he? Mickey was a character. Mickey's sadly lost.
I told you earlier on the day, Mickey was involved here for over 50 years. And Mickey sadly missed, but hopefully we can keep the thing going in the way they started for the next 50 years. Mickey was a very modest man. Mickey just wanted life, to everybody to get on, no squabbling. Mickey just wanted peace and quietness. That's what Mickey wanted. I hated to see people not agreeing, you know what I mean? That was Mickey's way of living. Modest man, very modest man, a gentleman out, class of mass. Charlie was the original chairman. It was Mickey and Charlie both was here at the start of this club over 50 years ago. And you can see where they started, kicking the ball about down in Swans Park. They ended up in the league at Westbrook Celtic and eventually changed it to Cockhill. That's 52 years ago now, and this is what they have achieved in that time. And never once did they wander or leave from the club. They were there from day one to the day they passed away, unfortunately, Joe the Cove's here also, and Joe was the original member. Joe was over here sitting on the stand today, Liam Cutcliffe, original member. Liam, unfortunately, I want to wish him well. Liam's in hospital at the minute recovering from COVID, but he's speaking to him this morning and he's getting on fine. Hopefully he'll be out again in the next few days. It's regret he's not fit to be here today, but that's life, unfortunately, at the minute. This carry-on's going on. I'm involved now for over 35 years, but this club's going for over 50 years. Well, you have a man up here above me here, Dennis McLaughlin. By Dennis, we call him, you had William Doherty. I just can't remember them, to be honest with you. Raymond Doherty, I'm only thinking back at photographs now that I've seen over the last wee while, But as I say, we hope to keep her going in the same vein as she's going on for the next 50 years. As long as we can. No problem. Thank you. All the best.
Well, I was a founder member of the club. First of all was Westbrook Celtic.
That's right, yeah. Westbrook Celtic, and we used to play in Swan Park. We would just gather up in the evening, and then it was decided then to set up a committee to become a proper football club. And I think it was Liam, you said it was Charlie's idea to come and name the club Cockhill Celtic.
Yeah.
So that's what took us out to Cockhill here.
Yeah. We're here tonight, Wally, to speak mainly about Mickey Gill.
Well, Mickey was a big influence in the club all through years. I just can't remember when he came into it. But I used to manage the team away back, and I know Mickey managed it as well. But he was a great asset to the club all the time he worked here. That's one thing we had, was a good committee. And Liam would have been there driving us on as well, you know.
So see, going back to Mickey, and what was he like as a player? Because younger people listening to this won't really remember.
Well, I would say Mickey's best asset was his speed, really. He's like myself, not what you call wild skillful altogether,
right.
but the speed made up for it.
Yeah.
The speed can make up for a lot of things in football, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Aye, I think speed can get you through at times. That was my main asset, and I think it was Mickey's main asset too. Very speedy. Mickey done the gate almost here every Sunday too. Like I noticed things like that.
Right,
you know,
right.
winter days and whatnot.
Aye, so he was always involved.
Always involved, and that's gone back to since 1970 or before it, Wally. Like that's long.
Oh, definitely.
That's a long while. Definitely.
What do you make of the stand?
I think it's fantastic, and the pitch is fantastic, and the whole setup is fantastic. Like when Westbrook started at the start, we trained down in the pier, where Tanks and Skinnies is.
Yeah.
The club on a Thursday night drove to the parish hall, Desert Agni.
And I used to have an Old Morris Oxford, a big long one, and I used to take a full team with me to Desert Agni to train.
It's come a long way in 50 years, boys.
It's great just to be here honouring a man like Mickey and to see the progress that we have came from Swan Park out to what we have here in Cockhill now. It's amazing.
It always seems to have been a real strong committee. Is that something that sort of has been massive in the whole thing?
That was true. I think he always had to have a good strong committee, and like when you had Charlie Don, God rest him, was chairman for years and years, and Charlie was always pretty good, and he even took up the post as chairman and then his own league for years and years, and he had a good head on his shoulders as regards development and for the future and stuff like that. No, we always had a good committee.
Q Clark would have been a man who has helped me a lot now, I have to say. I mean, Q would sit outside our house a lot of late nights there.
Yeah, I knew Mickey well. I knew Mickey both as a workman, like, and a footballer and a player and that, you know. Mickey was working in a glass, doing the glazing, and I used to warehouse. I used to meet him a lot out on sites, like. But then later on we played football together and we trained together and we done worked in the club together and the committee together, and he was very good man to work with. Like, he was very modest. He never pushed himself. He just whatever he had to do, he done, and he didn't make no big bones about it. Come involved around 1978, 79. I came back to Buncrana that time, and then I was involved then for a good number of years. You know, we opened a new pitch in 1987 with Paggy Bonner and all. And Mickey would be heavily involved that time, and Charlie O'Donnell and John Cowell, Liam Cutliff and all them boys, you know. Big Woolley, and they were good times. They fought hard to get money, and money was hard to get, you know. He definitely deserved it. Mickey gave his life to Cockhill, you know. He was a fantastic operator, and he just was Cockhill through and through, you know. Mickey believed in it, and he went to it full steam ahead. He didn't hold back, you know. Anything he could do, he done it, you know. It's well deserved. You know, it's great to see a stand like this. It's great to see a pitch like this for Cockhill, you know. In the early days, like my wife Helen, she used to do play school down the old changing rooms there, the new changing rooms now. And she was in there one day. She had it rented from Father Carlin, God rest him, and she came in one morning. The windows are broken, so she rang in, and he came out to look at it, and he said, "I think I'll sell this place." So she said, like, you know, if you want to sell it, she says, I know somebody will buy it. And he says, Cockhill Celtic. So he says, oh, well, I'll meet them then. So, you know, later on, we set up a meeting at Cockhill's Hall, and Father Carlin was there, and he says, like, I think there were 7 of us there. There was Joe in the Cove, Mickey Gill, Charlie O'Donnell, Liam Cutliff, Charlie McDade, I think. Not sure who else was there. I was there myself. And he said, I know there's 6 or 7 of these here, he said, but I'm not afraid of you. We dealt anyway, and we took the old school, he took the new car park there. Right.
And then it followed on from there. We developed this pitch, and it was for the youth, and he knew it was for the youth, so he was all for it. Like. No, I'd just like to say best of luck to Cockhill Celtic going forward in the future. I'm not involved in them now, but I was 25 years there, so took a break from it.
Yeah.
I play golf now myself, so it's easier on the knees and stuff. But no, I'd like to wish Cockhill Celtic all the best, and hopefully going forward they'll go further on. You know, they're doing very well at the minute, so this is a tribute. This is well deserved.
We had Joe and the Cove in the committee at the time too. Yeah. We had, as I say, what Wally says, a strong committee. A tan committee. Men would stick by their words, or which you could argue a point, but you're still friends afterwards, you know.
The grounds here are in great nick at the moment. Patrick McLaughlin used to be the groundsman.
I think Patrick McLaughlin would be responsible for most of that. Right. Well, up until about a year ago.
Right.
Mickey's been a legend long before I came to Cockhill. I would have minded Mickey going into the shop, into the general shop and getting fags, and you'd have a yarn and chatting about football. And boxing, of course, was another great sport of Mickey's. I mind going to the boys' club, Mickey in the boxing ring. It was somebody that had an air about him, but you would never hear a cross word from Mickey. I was smiling and very witty Mickey. A lot of people wouldn't have knew that now, but whenever you got to know him, he could always come out with some kind of something witty at the end of the conversation. No matter what you're talking about, it would bring, even no matter how serious the conversation of what you're doing, it would always a wee crack at the end of it. I know. Whenever I joined the club then, we really got friendly, really got to know Mickey. Mickey was always the same Mickey Gill from the day and hour that I first met him, really. Whenever he had the boys up the beach, up doing the training now, they wouldn't have said it was very easy going. There was no slacking. I'm sure you mind yourself due the time. The last video we done, myself and Mickey was involved on, was the time of the flood, 2017. Yeah. And we got yourself out. And really, what that was about was to try and raise awareness and funds from the government.
I think you have to see it to understand the scale of the damage that's been done. Businesses, sports clubs, voluntary bodies don't have insurance.
That assurance will be welcomed in Cockhill, Buncrana, where the sheer power of the water smashed through the local boxing club and destroyed 2 soccer pitches on the other side.
45 years here, we entered the league. Long-term lease, we had this pitch, and it's one of the most valuable pitches to us in the club because all the training's done, pre-season training here. I know, there's people could watch this video and say, there's little to worry about 2 football pitches. You know, what about our house, our bridge, sheep lost, round bays lost, you know. I know there's priorities, everybody, but this here we spent, if it comes financially, what we've spent over the years. This is the pitch that most of the National League football's all played in. Our senior team mainly play on the top pitch, but what 3 times we just, I don't know where we go from here. I know everybody has their priorities, and I say there's more important ones than this, but financially, we've been needing all the help we can get.
Thankfully, because that video that you done of us, it had a great effect on the funders.
It had an impact?
It had a big impact. John Delaney actually came down here. I was away at that time and met Mickey. But Mickey would have met John Delaney before. I think they played pool and a bit of crack up about Flaherty's Bar in the day. But in fairness now, a lot of people, John Delaney's going out of the FAI now with. But to us, he kept his word to us, Hunter. He says, yes, it's his grassroots football. That's what, and he left the club here at that time. And he said, I'll definitely guarantee we'll do the best. And not only that, we'll get youth for funding as well for you. We'll get it back to the way it was before. And again, I must pay credit as well to Jim McConnell. Jim was involved big time in that with that, both been in the FAI. Yeah. And he would have got myself and Mickey met with, it was actually the treasurer of the FAI, maybe about a month before John Linney came here. And again, it was Jim that got him down. But Mickey, as you know yourself, at that time, he said, you know what I mean, about tsunamis. Just a wee look at the video there just a couple of weeks ago. Just every word that Mickey says has, you know what I mean, it bears. But the dedication and that Mickey had to get the grounds back again, you know what I mean? It was just the type of person he was. It's more than a fitting tribute to Mickey, because that stand will be there forevermore. And Mickey was here from day one, and as far as I'm concerned, he'll be here forevermore too. But Mickey really loved and breathed Cockhill Celtic. As everybody's, you know, the family, Cockhill was Mickey's family as well. As his own family, that's the way Mickey was.
The first memories were probably around the time that pitch got destroyed down there beside the river for the first time, around that 87 when it was reopened, you know. And then it's some You know, they had some great success around that time too as a club. You know, like the young Sean McLaughlin was just young in them days. You know, the Gillespie brothers. That age group. You know, John Porter was in Nets. That was the age group when I started coming out. 5, 6 around them times. You know, just going to, being out around it and going to training. You know, training was a different thing back in them days. You know, they had a generator with, hooked up the lights and trying to get it go up the beach and down here there wasn't. It was just an old pitch, with reeds in it. So that was the earliest memory from then on until probably I started playing myself, at teenage level with Cockhill. And Dad been involved in all the underage teams. So I went to the town school myself, so coming out and they play for Cockhill was a big thing for me at underage level.
You didn't get no slagging from the...
there was plenty of that. Plenty of that.
That happens,
we got to a few finals playing against Buncrana, in McGinn, and it was added fuel to the rivalry. My age group was Martin O'Donnell, and the people involved in the club was the same. Charlie O'Donnell had run everything when we were younger, and Tommy and Dad then, were there from the start too, to get more involved in the running the club from maybe the men before them, when they were involved in playing and stuff before, and then step onto the boards and everything. So I've been away for years myself, so to see the development of the club in that my time away was unbelievable. Daddy and the other members were always striving for to improve the club, in any way possible, just from wee things like railings and the simplest things, but they all add up, and you're constantly trying to improve all of them, grounds, the different facilities, and like to see the type of pitch they have here, and and everything that went with it is amazing, especially when I wasn't here, and seeing so much change after being away.
Yeah, and when you heard that they were going to name the stand after your father,
it was amazing to hear, and made you feel very, very proud. The whole family, everybody was delighted.
A brilliant day.
It was beautiful. It was emotional. It was beautiful. It was great turnout. Great to see all the people, especially and after it happening, after everything been quiet for a while. It was great to see. It's just another upgrade on the facilities here, and to have him honoured in this way is great, and I'm sure it'll nip a last improvement. It's passion, It's great to see it being carried on in the club, and there's great men here, for the future too, doing the same.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to the Dorothy Gill family.
No
for
problem. So thank you to Cockhill.
So
we have to thank Cockhill, that was such a big part of his life, and to get the honour from them and everything is just great.
It's a good tribute to a man that done so much for the club, and that's the good thing about it. And it's good for Josephine and the family that they can come, if they ever come to the match, and they can see that. But my mind's going back when I think of Mickey. You're talking there about committee members, but I like to think on players like the likes of Sean Galvin, God rest him, and John Doherty Piper.
Aye.
They were ex-Cockhill men, and they gave everything, and it's a great tribute not only to Mickey, the whole setup's a great tribute to ex-players and everybody that's passed.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I can certainly say all my years here I was as happy as can be, met some great friends, and I still go to all the matches, and there's probably dozens of men have done stuff over the years that I wouldn't even know about since I left the club, you see. So I can't be say anything about any men, but all the men done their part here over the years, and they're still doing it,
The club is coming off a long way in the last 50 years or so. They started off in the early 70s as Westbrook Celtic, training out of Swans Park, really just in a field as such. But since moving out here, you see now around you, just have a look around. We're standing in the Charlie O'Donnell Sports Grounds. We've got 3 grass pitches, a big Astro pitch. Facilities are second to none really. We've the Mickey Gill stand behind us, a top class stand, and that's 2 men that were pivotal in what has happened in this club, 2 huge figures, and there's loads of other figures who are still going in the club, but the 2 men in particular played a massive role in what is here today. In terms of the football side of things, the club itself has come on leaps and bounds, especially in the last decade or so. The Ulster Senior League team are actually currently going for 10 in a row, which is phenomenal, sort of going at this stage. We have 3 senior teams, 3 adult senior teams. There's more children involved in the club now than probably has ever been before. And if you look behind us here, there's girls playing at the minute. We have girls teams and underage. There's plans in place for a ladies team to be sort of resurrected in the coming year. So everything is in place. It's probably fair to say that Cockhill, outside of Fun Harps, are the one senior club in the county. Cockhill is the biggest club in the county at the minute. So it's a testament to the work of the likes of Mickey Gill and Charlie O'Donnell and others who have put in huge amounts of effort and time over the years.
Cara, you have a book there in front of you. It's a wee bit of the history of the club. Can you talk a wee bit about the early days? Because a lot of people, younger people especially, won't really know a whole lot about it.
Well, this is given the detail of the committee from 1970, and that was the first year the Cockhill Celtic was formed. And the first elected committee, the chairman was Wally Doherty, the secretary was Charlie McDade, the treasurer was Charlie O'Donnell. They had a selection committee which was made up of Charlie O'Donnell, Charlie McDade and Wally Doherty, and the trainer was Wally Doherty. So Wally filled a lot of roles that year, and the following year then it was the same, and Aidan Gill came in as a trainer and Sean Galvin was the team captain and B. Doherty was the number 2. But I don't know who that B. Doherty is. I need to do a bit of detective work to find out. I have them here right from 1970, and the expenditure in 1971 was £97 2 shillings, and the income was 171 and 5 shillings.
Is that a wee bit different to the current day, Cara?
That's a whole lot different. We would probably need the guts of 30 to 40,000 to run the club now in a year.
Cara, see when you're there now, we're talking about the Mickey Gill stand. What is your sort of memories? Because you would have worked with Mickey on the committee for a right number of years, wouldn't you?
I originally came on the committee. Charlie stopped me outside the clubhouse when I was 22. And they asked me would I come on as secretary. They wanted somebody to take on the role of secretary. But I grew up with the club, and I grew up with Charlie and Mickey being about the house, with my dad, who's now the chairman. And at that stage I would have always been involved in helping out with the fundraising and stuff from a young age. But my first real Mickey was a club man.
Yeah.
And one of the memories that stands out for me with Mickey was the first year that we won the Ulster Senior League. And he was sitting in the corner in the Cruiskeen lawn, and he was just looking over at the whole place, and he was quite, I says, "You happy man today?" He says, "Never been prouder to see what we started from and to see where we're at." And it was touching because it was the first time they won it, and it wasn't long after Charlie's passing and everything else. And those two boys, like I heard stories of those two boys, them two boys were great mates. So this is Charlie O'Donnell Sports Ground. That's Mickey Gill's stand. They're still here together, even though they're no longer with us. They're still here in Cockhill together. Yeah. Emotional day for all the members, because Mickey was loved in the club. He was Cockhill through and through, and players loved him, and committee, his lifelong friends here in the committee, members that served with him in the past and members that were still serving with him when he passed himself, and that friendship, but you know, and that bond of the club doesn't go away.
Well done, well done. Well done, well done. Thank you, Josephine. From this day on, it'll be known as the Mickey Gill stand, okay? Thank you.
Would you have been one of the people who in Swan Park all those years ago was part of the dreaming up of this club?
I was when I say, don't ask me how long it is ago, I'm afraid to tell you. It's a long time ago. I think we're, say, 35 years ago at least, maybe. I say it's very successful. It just grew from strength to strength and that, you know.
Thank you.